Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. I want to talk to you today. One thing I was noticing last night, I was doing a Q&A and I kept getting a lot of questions. It was kind of talking about and leaning towards, does he love me? Does he love me? And I want you to understand with men now, this is something that it's hard to understand because men have so many complexities inside of this simple being. Like a lot of times we see men in the classroom and they may be cutting up, in school and acting up when they're boys and more straight to the point, A to B, don't like to waste too much time. Guys always looking for shortcuts, always looking for an easy way to do stuff. Even as grown men, I see grown men taking shortcuts, trying to find an easy way to get something done. And a lot of times women may be more detail oriented. That's why when you see event planners, it's typically women, because women are more detail oriented, want to do it right, want everything to be perfect, and men kind of like, hey, just slap it together, let's go. And that same thing, that same personality, it rolls over into the relationship. And so in a relationship, you have men come in and they really don't want to go through all of the emotions and all of the feelings out of fear. Because to truly trust somebody, I've been married going on 14 years now, and I still have a dream, that my wife cheating or that doing something with somebody. And it's like, men think that, and it really be our own past that be haunting us. It be our own thoughts, our own actions that we've committed. And some men, it be their guilty conscience in the presence. I'm 100% faithful to my wife, but I still will think or wonder. And it's not something that I want to entertain, something that I bring upon myself. It's just a thought that crosses your mind. The mind does a lot of what it wants to do just based on society and your past and your upbringing or soul ties or your experiences. And it may have nothing to do with you necessarily in that moment. Now, what we do get the power to do is we get the power to confront those thoughts, to refute those thoughts and say, okay, that's of the devil. I rebuke that thought in the name of Jesus. Cast it out. You do get that power to do that. But it's not always going to be easy. And the thing about it is, see, one thing I've noticed is women can give themselves to a relationship more openly and more freely. And women have a way about them that allows them to take a chance on love, to risk being talked about, to risk being embarrassed. I'll see women date a man for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, and start posting pictures with him online, showing him off. Oh, this my man, this my love. And it's in truth, in all honesty, it's like you don't even know him. You don't even know that man. It takes you 2 to 3 years to even get to know a man. Again, I'm going on 14 years of marriage. My wife's still learning me. She's still learning me. She still take me serious when I'm joking. She still give me, this respect when I may not deserve it in that moment. Like I may say something, she may say, hey, can you help me with this? And I want a little bit of attention. I want her to kind of, bother me, kind of beg me a little bit. I'm like, I'm tired, man. And instead of her being like, well, hush, get on up, come here, get up, and coming and grabbing me, that's what I want her to do. But she'll be like, all right, just forget it, don't worry about it. And I'm like, then I have to tell her, I'm like, 14 years of marriage, you still don't know that I'm just joking? You still don't know that your wish is my command? You still don't know that I leave at 11, go and get the moon and be back by noon if that's what you need? Like, you still don't understand that? Like, why are you giving me this room, this respect? It ought to be like, hey, I need you right now. Get up and come do what I need you to do. I'm like, I'm yours. I'm your husband. You own me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Don't be giving me that kind of room. Like, you done paid dues, you done put in. Now, different if it's 1 year, 2 years, and you expecting everything in the world. But we going on 14 years of marriage. You see what I mean? So I look at that and I notice, and I'm like, man, women are just so subservient or submissive or dismissive by nature. Like, y'all, the way you're wired, you give a man free reign. You give a man control. You give him more than what he deserves. You give him when he may not even be asking. And you don't ask for enough, and you don't take enough. And so men know that. Men know that. And when I say take, I mean receive. I don't mean that you don't put up with enough. You put up with too much on average. And so men know that, and men come in, and a man knows the nature of a man. A man knows that sometimes he can be fly by night, he flying by the seat of his pants. Sometimes he can be like a leaf in the wind. He knows that he gets bored easy. He knows that he's looking for a thrill. He's looking for fun. He knows that idle mind is the devil's playground. He knows his weaknesses. He knows what he struggles with. And most men do not trust themselves. And then men fear, if he trusts himself and if he does the right thing and does what he knows he should be doing, men fear that when he gives all the way in, that's when the woman is going to take a stupid pill and cheat on him. That's when she's going to get complacent and she's going to do what she wants to do. And that's what he feels, and that's what he fears. And so therefore, it keeps him from giving all of himself. It keeps him from falling in love. And so what men do is, out of fear, men will cheat just because he thinks there's a possibility that she could be cheating. A man will hold back his love and not fall in love and put on a facade and be a tough guy just because he feels if he is vulnerable and if he falls in love, she will take advantage of him. So you have to understand, if you're a woman watching this, is that when you building with this man, you gotta create that safe space. Like, you gotta communicate. You gotta let him know where your heart is, where your mind is. You gotta hold him accountable. You gotta check him on every little thing he does. You gotta check him to let him know that you're aware, you paying attention, you know what's going on, and you gotta love him. You gotta be there. You gotta open it. You gotta open up. You gotta have open dialogue. You gotta be real with him. You gotta be straightforward with him. I got a couple workers in my house right now, so they mess around and get done. I got to get going. Let me see. I think, but it might be about done. What they got going on? What are you doing? And so you got to realize that, see that, and understand that, and kind of know, what he's going through, what he's thinking and feeling, so you can hold him accountable and make sure that you're not letting stuff slide. Because see, the other thing that makes a man complacent and that makes him not want to fall in love is when he's with a weak woman, when he's with a woman who is submissive and he hasn't paid his dues, a woman who's giving him free reign. The other thing, when you start praising a man and you showing him off all online and you doing all that, and he hasn't paid his dues, that's when you start to kind of scare him, because you look desperate for love. And desperation is not attractive. And that's what you got to understand. So really realize that men fear love. All done? All done? Okay. Men fear love. They fear being hurt. They fear being vulnerable. And that's why they hold back. But if you realize that and you recognize that and you can call that out, you can speak to that, and you can show your heart, you can show your vulnerability without being ignorant, without being taken advantage of, without just laying on your back and letting him do whatever he wants to do, that's when you start to get his respect. And the man The woman that a man is gonna fall in love with is a woman who is emotionally intelligent. She can check him on everything. She respects him, she honors him, but she's not a pushover. And that's a balance. That's a balance that you gotta find. And that balance is not always easy to find. But you have to come to the place to where, an example is, I'm a good man for my wife today. My wife always checked me, but still to this day, my wife has never cursed at me. She's never cursed at me. She's never called me out of my name. You ain't called me the N-word. You know how people sometimes you use the N-word on a black man if you're a black woman. And you'll call them, but that word is weaponized. She never called me anything. Ignorant, dummy, stupid, grown boy, nothing. And I gave her plenty reason to, but what she did is she checked me by saying, listen, I told you I'm not gonna be here, and she'll leave. She'll leave. She had to leave once in dating, she left once in marriage. For her to leave under those circumstances, the way she did it, boom, at the drop of a hat, didn't show me a tear, didn't get out of character, didn't yell, didn't scream, didn't throw nothing. That's what made me know this a real woman. This woman rare. Most women gonna be screaming, yelling, fussing, cussing, crying, boohoo crying, snot all out her nose. She can't sleep. She got a headache. This woman is not letting me see her sweat. This woman knows her worth. This a real woman. So that let me know I can drop my guard. I can love this woman because she in it for the right reason. She real about this thing. I could drop my guard. I could be vulnerable, and I can give love. That's what let me know that. And you got to come to that place and point of understanding to really realize that you cannot allow a man to just give you just enough. You can't let him breadcrumb you. What y'all call it, breadcrumb. Y'all got a term for everything. Can't let him breadcrumb you and just give you just enough. You eating off the master's table, the crumb that fall to the floor, and he giving you just enough. And he's sending you mixed signals. He's misleading you. And he's not consistent. He's controlling, or he's toxic, or he's a cheater. You can't let him do those type of things, because that's going to push him further away instead of bring him closer to you. And that's what you got to realize and understand. So get to that place and point, and really evaluate what you're getting in this relationship, and understand that a man knows how to love. A man wants to love. And when a man gets to that place, it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to feel, my wife, it's going to be overwhelming. Now, she receive it now. She receive it. She'll be like, oh, no, don't do that. Don't give me that. She receive it. But it can get to the place to where you like, whoa, this man getting me gifts. Every check he get, he buy me something, or he give me some money. He making love to my mind, making love to my body. He taking care of me. He looking out. He protecting me. You're going to see that, and you're going to feel that. And if that's not what you're getting, he's keeping his heart to himself. You're not the one. He's not being open and honest, and you're going to end up being hurt. Hey, this Tony Gas. I got to go. Got to get back to work. You know, as I told y'all, real life going on around here. So I got 2 guys in my house, and, you know, they moving around, and so I need to see what's going on. God bless you. Sit with this. I might get a chance to shoot another little short video, keep expounding upon this. So look for part 2, maybe even part 3. We'll talk soon.